Are you worried about an AI bubble or an AI pullback for these Mag 7 names? Are you actually really expecting that? When does that happen and why?
So I think the place a bubble exhibits itself is in tertiary names and in companies that have already got troubles, that are trying to make up revenues that aren't there, and doing lousy things like accounting fraud. Certainly that's what we saw in the dot-com era. I don't see that in the Mag 7 names, and in particular, I don't see that in Oracle, of course, being out of the Mag 7. But I think that what was very clear from the earnings we got from three companies, Oracle, Broadcom, and Ciena. Ciena, much smaller company, but a really important company in networking that had an incredibly bullish result or quarter. The comments from CEO Gary Smith were just jaw-droppingly bullish, and a guy that's not always out there waving the pom-poms, but saying that the opportunity for AI and the spending in AI is even bigger than even the biggest companies expect it to be, and they find that to be true every single quarter. We heard similar things from Oracle. We heard that from Broadcom. And yet the market doesn't like these numbers this week. But there are moments in the market where the companies tell you one thing and the stocks tell you the other. And those are either buying opportunities or hints of trouble. And I think as investors, you've got to make a decision where you stand. Are you looking for these opportunities when the companies are telling you what's going on and you want to believe them, or you want to doubt them? That's when you got to do the work.
So, look, you've always been a fan of tech. You've always been one of our top experts talking tech. Are there names that you think are worthwhile investing in here that maybe have less risk than others? If so, which names are the go-tos?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to give individual stock advice because I'm so often wrong. But I do think that there are moments of disconnect, and those are the times that you want to do the research. You want to go in and look, if Nvidia is saying things are great and their orders are coming in great, fantastic numbers, and it's trading at a discount to its price to earnings ratio over the last few years, you want to say, hey, is this an opportunity or not? Same thing with Oracle, same thing with Broadcom, same thing with Ciena. When you see these opportunities in the market where the company is saying one thing and the market is saying something else, that's the moment when you want to do the research and figure out who's right and who's wrong, because somebody's wrong here. And that might be where the real opportunity is for investors.
I mean, Broadcom has been weighing on the NASDAQ today. On this kind of day, are you looking at Broadcom or the NASDAQ? Is there a takeaway here?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of work right now, and I want to tell you that, I think there's a big focus on macro PE numbers and what is the S&P 500 PE number. And then every year, as we're starting to take a look back in 2025, we're saying, well, the earnings caught up with the numbers, and it wasn't too bad. I think price to earnings growth is a much more important number to look at. And when you look at the PEG ratio, the price to earnings growth, that is to say, if the earnings are growing at filling the company 40%, and the PE ratio is 40%, and then the earnings are going to grow at 50%, maybe the PE ratio should be 50%. And you want to look at where the opportunity is in the earnings growth. And I think that that's maybe a better number to look at when we have these moments of incredible life-changing, business-changing, technology-changing opportunities as we see in this AI build-out. We can see this AI build-out is going to go on for the next, call it 5-6 years at least. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity. There are going to be billions, even trillions spent. I sound like Bernie Sanders all of a sudden. We're going to see trillions of dollars spent. And maybe there are opportunities here to figure out where that money is going to go and to buy those stocks, because those earnings are going to go up a lot.
So what's the takeaway here? I mean, I know there's a lot of details about debt or worried about PE ratios. Some of the PE ratios are not terrible, particularly for names that are doing, like an Nvidia, for example, just got more, now there's talk about them making more H200 chips because they're seeing rising demand. That seems like real money, real story. It's not like speculative or, in an idea of something. And the PE ratio is not bad on a name like Nvidia, like it was in the tech bubble when things were 100 times plus in the PE ratio, right? Is tech
when the stock price goes down, the PE ratio goes up? Yes, it's true. Look, I think you're right. These companies, some of these companies are generating not just profits, not just cash flow from operations, but actual free cash flow. Now, the money they're putting into CapEx reduces free cash flow, but it's amazing to me right now in this week, in the year of our Lord 2025, in the 50th week of the year, all of a sudden the market cares about tech companies' free cash flow. That is not an area where tech investors have typically focused. Maybe they should, maybe they always should, but that is a unique moment right here. The concern about CapEx spending from Oracle, and then even new worries with a report out this morning that maybe some of the data centers build-outs are going to be pushed out a few years. Look, Oracle didn't give us specific data center dates because they know this is construction. If you've ever built anything, you know the construction takes longer, costs more, and is going to be open to surprises. And that's certainly going to happen with the build out of these data centers. But when you look over the long term, when we are sitting here in 2030, God forbid, Nicole, you and I are sitting here in 2030, but it may be the case. We will be sitting here and looking back at what happened over the previous 5 years. We are going to see that trillions were spent in data centers, and we could have made decisions today about where we want to invest, whether one quarter is up or down, whether those companies are going to be the real builders of this future world of AI.
And look, I mean, we saw Nvidia coming down on the news that some Oracle data centers for OpenAI were being delayed to 2028 from 2027, and that was something that weighed on Nvidia stock today.
For Nvidia investors, the last several years have been quite the adventure. The company's graphics processing units, GPUs, are now the industry standard for AI training and inference, and they were essential in recent developments in AI. As a result of the extraordinary demand for its chips, the company's sales and profits skyrocketed, and its stock price reached all-time highs. With a market valuation of $4.3 trillion as of this video, it is now the most valuable company in the world, and the majority of experts predict that AI use will continue to rise in the long run. But the excitement has started to wane in recent months. Confirmation that the AI investment cycle will produce observable returns is what shareholders are seeking. It's easy to understand why investors are wary when you combine it with the notion of an AI bubble. The strongest indication to yet that demand for AI is still strong came from Broadcom. The results of Broadcom's fiscal fourth quarter of 2025, which concluded on November 2nd, were significantly better than anticipated. A 28% year-over-year increase in record revenue of $18.1 billion drove a 37% increase in adjusted earnings per share, EPS, to $1.95. For comparison, Broadcom comfortably exceeded analysts' average predictions, which called for sales of $17.46 billion and adjusted EPS of $1.87. The company's remarkable results, which saw AI-based revenue soar 74% year-over-year for the 11th straight quarter of AI-centric growth, were driven by the ongoing demand for AI products. At $7.47 billion, or 41% of revenue, free cash flow was very strong. Broadcom provided additional reasons for optimism among investors. Anthropic was identified by CEO Hock Tan as the unidentified client responsible for the $10 billion backlog growth in Q3. Additionally, he mentioned that the AI startup had ordered an extra $11 billion worth of chips, which should be delivered by the end of next year. Broadcom's backlog is still $73 billion, despite fulfilling a torrent of orders to produce record revenue. With a $1 billion order scheduled for delivery in late 2026, Tan also mentioned that the company had added a fifth client for its custom AI chips. Additionally, the CEO gave a strong first quarter forecast, projecting $19.1 billion in revenue, a 28% rise over the same period last year. To put things in perspective, analysts' consensus projections for Q4 revenue were $18.31 billion. These figures are probably modest, though, considering the company's propensity to over-deliver and under-promise. Tan continued by saying that he anticipates the surge to continue, causing revenue from Ethernet switches and AI accelerators to quadruple annually to $8.2 billion. Even if the outcomes are clearly favorable for Broadcom stockholders, it's important to take a step back so that we don't overlook the bigger picture. These accelerating findings show that these worries are unwarranted, at least for the time being, even though it's worthwhile to watch for an AI-related slowdown. Nvidia's quarterly report gains credibility from Broadcom's accelerated results, which also support CEO Jensen Huang's claim that AI has hit a tipping point on the company's earnings call. Although there has been discussion of an AI bubble, he added, from our vantage point, we see something very different. By the end of the decade, Huang predicts that spending on AI-powered data centers would have increased to between $3 trillion and $4 trillion. To put things in perspective, Wall Street anticipates $213 billion in revenue for Nvidia's fiscal year, which concludes in January. This serves to highlight the enormous potential that still exists. Additionally, Broadcom stated that as the major cloud infrastructure providers are raising capital expenditures, CapEx, the majority of its expanding backlog was caused by growing demand from its existing hyperscale customers. In light of this, Tan stated, "We anticipate that our customers' spending momentum for AI will continue to accelerate in 2026. Consequently, this increasing demand is encouraging for Nvidia." According to IoT Analytics, its chip continues to dominate, holding 92% of the data center GPU market. The majority of specialists concur that the need for the required processors will rise as AI adoption proceeds downstream. Nvidia's GPUs will continue to be in great demand since they are the industry standard. As of this video, Nvidia's stock has risen more than 1,100% since the introduction of AI in early 2023, despite recent weakness. Furthermore, despite the perception that the growth of AI is waning, Nvidia and Broadcom both continue to post impressive growth figures. Nvidia stock is now trading for just 24 times the projected earnings for the upcoming year, which is an appealing price to pay for a firm on track to raise revenue by 77% this fiscal year and 37% in fiscal 2027. This is good news for investors wishing to initiate or increase a position. I contend that Nvidia is in a strong position to continue to profit from the growing use of AI because of its huge market share, innovative history, and first-mover advantage. Broadcom is also on my hot list because it is selling for 29 times next year's earnings. According to a Reuters story, Nvidia informed Chinese customers that it would increase output of its H200 artificial intelligence chips. According to the sources, demand for the processor has outpaced supply. Big tech companies like ByteDance and Alibaba have expressed interest. TSMC, one of Nvidia's main manufacturing partners, produces the H200 chip. The announcement comes after U.S. President Donald Trump stated earlier this week that the administration will allow Nvidia to export the H200 processor to China, provided that a 25% sales tax is paid. According to industry observers, the tariff may have an impact on shipment schedules and order quantities. Purchases have not yet received approval from Chinese authorities. According to Reuters, which cited several people familiar with the negotiations, officials convened urgent talks on Wednesday to examine the import request and determine whether it would have an effect on the nation's plans for local AI chips. Analysts predict that chip supply relief would spark China's AI capital expenditure surge in 2026. Capital economics researchers predict that as long-standing chip shortages start to alleviate, China's investment in AI will pick up speed next year. In a letter released on Friday, the company stated that there has been a significant disparity in AI-related spending between the U.S. and China. Although the trajectory of U.S. economic development this year has been significantly influenced by the surge in AI capital expenditures, Capital Economics pointed out that there is little indication of a significant impact on the Chinese economy. According to economists, the drag is caused by ongoing supply restrictions rather than a shortage of capital. Chinese companies have been developing new models, but because to a supply shortage of chips brought on by U.S. export restrictions, less money has been spent on expanding data center capacity. The company also states that most inference workloads, which are now the main use of global data center computation, can be handled by processors produced by domestic chipmakers. However, they continue to rely on Western chip-making equipment, which is likewise limited, manufacturing it difficult for them to make enough chips to satisfy demand, according to Capital Economics. The business says that pressure should start to ease in 2026. Analysts anticipate a significant boost in output as yields improve, despite the fact that Chinese chipmakers are reportedly seeking to triple AI chip output next year. Chinese companies will be permitted to buy Nvidia's H200 processors, which are significantly more powerful than what China previously had access to, thanks to the easing of U.S. export regulations. ByteDance and Alibaba have already shown interest. Although it cautioned that it won't entirely counteract the nation's overall investment slump, Capital Economics stated that AI investment is expected to pick up speed next year and become a bright spot in China's economy. According to two people briefed on the subject, Nvidia informed Chinese customers that it is considering expanding its production capacity for its potent H200 AI processors after orders surpassed its current output level. The action follows U.S. President Donald Trump's announcement on Tuesday that the U.S. government will permit Nvidia to ship its second fastest AI chips, the H200, to China in exchange for a 25% fee. According to one of the sources, Nvidia is considering expanding its capacity due to the high demand for the chip from Chinese businesses. Since the conversations are confidential, they declined to be identified. A request for comment from Reuters was not immediately answered by Nvidia. According to a Reuters report on Wednesday, major Chinese giants Alibaba and ByteDance have already contacted Nvidia this week regarding the purchase of the H200 and are eager to put substantial orders. The Chinese government has not yet approved any purchases of the H200, so there are still unknowns. According to one of the two sources, and a third, Chinese officials called emergency meetings on Wednesday to address the issue and will choose whether to permit its shipment into China. According to a Reuters story on Wednesday, the U.S. leader in AI chips is concentrating on manufacturing its most sophisticated Blackwell and forthcoming Rubin lines. Thus, there are now very few H200 chips in production. China is advancing its AI sector. Chinese customers have expressed serious concerns over the supply of H200 chips and have contacted Nvidia to ask for clarification, according to sources. One of the first two people stated that Nvidia had supplied them with advice on current supply levels as part of the briefing, although they did not disclose a precise figure. The H200, the fastest AI processor in Nvidia's previous Hopper generation, got into widespread use last year. TSMC uses the Taiwanese company's 4-nanometer manufacturing process technology to produce the chip. Requests for comment were not immediately answered by TSMC or China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, MIIT. Because the H200 is by far the most potent chip available to Chinese enterprises, there is a high demand for it. Compared to the H20, an Nvidia downgraded chip designed for the Chinese market and released in late 2023, it is around 6 times as powerful. At the same time as China is working to advance its own domestic AI chip sector, Trump makes his decision regarding the H200. There have been worries that bringing the H200 into China could stifle the industry, since local chip manufacturers have not yet produced goods comparable to the H200. According to Nori Chiu, investment director at White Oak Capital Partners, its H200 compute capability is around 2 to 3 times that of the most sophisticated domestically built accelerators. He added, "I'm already seeing a lot of CSPs, cloud service providers, and enterprise customers aggressively placing large orders and lobbying the government to relax restrictions on a conditional basis." He added that the demand for AI in China surpasses the capability of local production. According to one of the first two sources and a third source, there was a suggestion during the emergency meetings to mandate that every H200 purchase be paired with a specific ratio of domestic chips. At a time when it is not only switching to Rubin, but also competing with businesses like Alphabet's Google for TSMC's limited advanced chip-making capacity, Nvidia finds it difficult to add more capacity. Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your input helps create a more knowledgeable community where we can all learn and grow together in the world of investing. Stay up to date with the latest market trends, insights, and key updates by subscribing to Investing Tutorial. We're here to help you make smarter investment decisions and stay ahead of the curve.